Hey, look, we're about to record a video for YouTube, so you'll see us looking over to the side into the face of the camera. But it's a bit about the story around why I've set up the Civilised Savage in the first place. So if you're tuning in and wondering what it is all about, you're probably about to hear the story about what has caused me to go down this journey. So stay tuned. And before we go on, Mr. Sean Brewster, good friend of mine. For those that listen to my podcasts,
almost a regular.
Is a regular on the show.
Almost a regular.
And we've known each other for many years now. We've done a lot of things, some crazy things and some not so crazy things. Done businesses together.
We have.
Trained together. Camped together, all sorts of things. So
we thought this might be a good idea to have a chat.
Absolutely.
On film, and I'll pick your brain a little bit. Yep. You'll tell some stories.
Yeah, I thought it was just a better way to interact with the audience around me just talking straight at the camera and going, well, that's pretty boring, one guy talking to himself. So this way it's a bit more of a conversation, and you'll get some insights, because Sean actually knows me quite well, so I'll be able to ask those prying questions that you'll be able to get the good insights from.
That is the plan. Okay.
If I bust in the tears or something, then you'll know why.
I'll get in the tissues, that's my job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
So stay tuned, we'll be over in this camera over here.
Okay.
So Sean, thank you for coming along. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. As we just mentioned to the folks on Instagram over there, we really want to do a quick overview of the story behind why I've set up the Civilised Savage and what I guess what has led me down that path and this journey.
And knowing you and your story and all the things that you've gone through in your life, I remember our first conversation around this kind of topic of the new business idea that you had, and you hadn't come up with a name at that stage, but the concept was there, the framework, and
I should have just hit record there.
Yeah, and it made a lot of sense to me that you would choose that topic to be building a business around. You see a dog drop into the shot here. It's my pup. She's come to say hello. And so, it just seemed right. It just felt right, knowing you and knowing what you've got to offer the world. It just seemed like a good idea. So and here we are with the little logo on the shirt. It's taking shape. It
is, and so trying to do a bit of brand awareness and also a bit of merchandising at the same time. Because I think that's part of, as you see as we go through the journey, building a business and is obviously part of this program, but it's also a way to show other men that there are options. And so I guess so for those that don't know me, my background was I've been an executive and business coach, and put a bit of a life coach part in that, because I actually trained as a life coach, which then morphed into the executive coaching and business coaching for over a decade. And one of the things I quite often hear, especially from men, especially if they're in a job, and so I work a full-time job and want to have more flexibility in the way that I run my life, and people go, well, if I don't have enough time to start a business. So I thought, well, why not document that journey? And if it works, it works. I don't know. At this stage, it's all unknown, so it may not work. I don't know, but we'll give it a good crack, and we'll step through the processes that I take. And if nothing else, you learn what not to do.
And I think that's the beauty of this format of this video that we're making here, both for video and audio, of course. But is that is really a story about the story. It's about the creation of. And not just about here's a promotional video for the business, because that's not what it's about, is it?
No, not really.
No, it's about understanding the process someone needs to go through, not just to start a business, but to formulate an idea, how they pull that out of their brain, how they turn it into reality. And I think, at least for me, what I'd like to do is to go into the challenges that you've had, and while you'll be coaching people to be more effective in their lives, we'll see some of the things that you weren't effective in, and then maybe some strategies in how you've dealt with that and managed it, and the battles that you're still having to fight on a daily basis to get this thing going, and also manage the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably one of the things that people get wrong about people in business. That they think that life comes easy to them. They see that they have a particular lifestyle and life is easy, but in business there's challenges every day. And quite often, especially when business is starting out, it takes a lot of momentum and a lot of energy. So even if people aren't working in a job, like it's a full-time gig trying to get a business off the ground, as you know, because you're currently in that space and you've been doing that for 12, 18 months now. Yeah,
about that. That's a full-time thing.
A full-time gig, and so we've obviously had a business together previously, and this is probably for you now, it's probably a third phase of that, or third version of that.
It is, yeah.
So, you know, like I see the change in you and the amount of work that you're putting into your business and growing that. And it's very similar to a lot of the clients that I work with who are small or medium-sized business. And I've had people say, look, I just can't do this anymore. Like they go, when does it stop? And I said, well, not for a while.
Yeah.
You can,
Maybe never.
well, maybe not, yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of the question about, you know, starting a business. Are you the kind of person that should be doing that? Is it in you,
Yeah.
you know, to do that? And it's not for everyone.
No,
No.
it's not.
Yeah. So with your Civilised Savage concept, first of all, for those who maybe don't know about that,
Yeah.
what does the name mean? Like, why that for you?
Yeah, so the Civilised Savage came about because I wanted to really capture this whole concept that, and so the program is basically aimed at men, because I do feel that men are lost. Not all men, but there's a good number of men that are lost in society because society has changed and the expectations around what a man is has changed. And do we open the door for a lady? Do we not open the door for a lady? Is it sexist to, you know, let them go through a doorway first? Men are lost, and as a result of that, you know, women don't have strong men around, and they don't have strong men in their lives. And quite often, men will get domesticated through the process of, you know, dating or getting married, and whatever that might be. But the Civilised Savage part is about being able to connect to the wild side of who we are as men,
Okay.
but still being able to be civilised at the same time. Because I think there is an element of us that still needs to fit into society. We need to work with society. Times have changed. You know, we don't walk around the club and drag people around or fight off, you know, saber-toothed tigers anymore.
Yeah.
We fight battles in corporate offices and boardrooms and stuff like that. You know, so we still need to be able to blend into that society and be a part of that while still being connected to, for me, it's nature or the wild side of who we are.
Yeah.
And also keeping that masculinity side of us as well.
And when you say wild side, I think the first thing that pops into my head, and probably other people who don't know the concept as well as you do, would be caveman.
Yeah.
You know, wild man in the bush running around, you know,
Yeah.
killing animals and things. That's not what you mean, is it?
No,
it's
no,
like
absolutely
the innate. It's like the genetics that you're born with of who you are.
Yeah,
Deep down, the history of what a man is.
Yeah, it's about finding your passion and being courageous enough to be involved in your passion.
Speaking of man, it's man's best friend.
How do you
Popped
know?
up here.
You're very friendly.
She was sitting quietly and she would press play on the video.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's like it might just be driving with your window down.
Right.
You're just doing something that you haven't done for a while. It might be going camping. It might be, you know, going for a swim in the ocean. You know, it's just doing something that you are being friendly. It's something that you've probably been passionate about in the past. You know, like I know for a lot of men, they used to have a motorbike and they got married and then the motorbike's gone and, you know, it's raising the kids.
Went through that same story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
But it's one of those things that people go, I just feel like I'm for a ride on a motorbike.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes it's about, actually, yeah, look, I'm a man, I want to do something that's a little bit on the wild side.
Yeah.
And it might be taking up a new sport or learning to paint. Or
Mm.
you might have a passion about being an artist or learning music or learning to sing. Just connect to that inner self that, you know, you've been told is wrong all your life. You know, men don't do that, or you know, you've got to be more responsible now. Or sometimes you just want to go outside and let the wind blow in your hair.
Do you think that obviously society is changing the way we see and deal with men?
Yeah.
Do you think the same thing's happening for women?
Yeah, I think it has.
In a different way or in the same
yeah,
way?
no, I think it's probably changed in a different way for them, but it's definitely changed as well.
And do women also need to reconnect with what it is to be a woman in the same way?
I think so, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. So look, this program, while predominantly is aimed at men or for men, I think there's also an element here that's very relevant for women who have men in their lives to help them understand part of that. So what do men need in their lives as well?
Yeah. So rather than battling the fact that this man needs to go out and socialise with his mates once a week, he physically needs it,
Yeah,
to understand that and maybe create an opportunity for it so that he's happier the rest of the time.
absolutely, and allow him to be a better man as a result of that.
And then I guess it's the women are from Mars, men are from Venus, or the verse. But the one thing that I took away from that book, the one time that I read a part of that book, was that we have to understand that men and women have different needs, and we shouldn't try to see them as another version of us.
No, yeah,
And if we treat them that way, then it's not going to work.
no,
And so when I say something like men need to go and socialise with their friends,
yeah,
that might not be the case for everyone.
no, absolutely not.
But for one man it might be.
Yep, and I think the energy behind that is important. And because I do often say, especially with a lot of my clients, that growing older doesn't actually equal maturity. So I see there's a lot of boys just in old bodies.
Right.
You know, and there'll be, I think the common phrase is, I'm going down to the pub with the boys.
Yep.
And with that comes a lot of boyish behaviour,
Yeah.
as opposed to connecting with other men and having, deep and meaningful conversations. I'm not saying you should be, deep and serious all the time. You can still have fun with men, but it's a different conversation. You say, I'm going to catch up with men to talk men stuff.
Right.
Whether that's at the men's shed, building something, or